your misfortune and none of my own. Hi-I-O, get along, you little doggies. You know that the prairie will be your new home.
And now for the thrilling adventures of Lightning Jim.
I won't stay back here. Let me out at once, do you hear? Let me out, I tell you.
Oh, quiet down, Belle.
I won't stay back here with these yowling pack of coyotes, I tell you. I won't. Let me out of here.
Oh, for heaven's sake, pipe down, Bill. This is the Fort Anderson jail you're in, not that fancy reformatory you was at last time.
Yeah, they ain't got no special ladies department here, Belle.
Why, you dirty, gulching sidewinder, you. Take that. Come on.
Hide, Belle Star. The spur in one of them boots of yours done there took me ear off.
You're just lucky I wasn't inside those boots, grinding them into your face, jerk leader, instead of just throwing them. It was your loose, running, double-crossing tongue that got us all behind bars. And if you don't watch out, I'll do some talking that'll get you measured for a hemp necktie. Yeah, and a 6-foot spread on Boot Hill.
Yeah, it was Jake that cold up us all into the marshal's trap.
Shut up, all of you. You're all tied with the same brush as Jake. The only difference between you and a pack of cold cats is a stripe down your back of yellow instead of white. All yellow and a yard wide.
Where do you get that stripe?
Shut up! Shut up! Hold up! Let me out of here! Let me out, I tell you!
Lightning Jim and Whitey have just returned to their headquarters at Fort Anderson following a successful adventure down in Indian Territory where they managed to capture the notorious woman bandit Belle Starr and 8 of the outlaws riding under her leadership. And now we find Whitey reclining in the comfortable depths of an armchair, shoes off, feet resting on a convenient table, chuckling over a bit of gossip in the local newspaper. Storm coming up, Whitey. Better close them windows.
Oh, you're a coasting.
Yeah, sure laid off my mind knowing Belle Starr's locked up good and tight, I can tell you that.
Good Lightning, you don't mean to tell me that you was worried over what the bell said about the sleeping, do you?
Well, I reckon it is kind of foolish, Whitey, to let her brag and bother me. But you know her record for luck. With all the time she's had been sentenced to jail, the only time that woman ever left the prison for the front door was when her and Sam did that trick at the Detroit Reformatory last year. You remember that?
Oh, I know all that, Lightning. But don't you forget that she ain't never been our prisoner before.
Yeah, I reckon you're right, Whitey. We've got a long record of good luck ourselves. It's sure good to be home, dear. Everything's so quiet and peaceful. Hey, Whitey. You want to take a look at this sky, will you?
Sure. Hey, them cats, they look just like my divorce.
Sure do.
I stand this Lightning. That's the way the sky looked the time we was in that tornado up in Iowa.
Yeah. Hey, look, Whitey, off there in the distance. That whirling dust. It is a tornado, by God.
So, and it's coming straight this way. See, we better get down in the shed.
I'll say we had. Come on, hurry up.
Oh. Look out for the ship, sir.
What, Whitey? Open up. Look, Whitey. Let's go. No, she's going any minute now. Get down on the floor, Whitey. All right, look there.
Can't you move off of me? Instead of no shit, have the horse fall on me. Without you big... Lightning! Lightning, answer me! Lightning! Yeah, most of it. Don't walk me like this.
You all right, Whitey?
Oh, I'm all right. Your head is bleeding.
I saw that Joyce was when he hit you, Whitey. Thought I could catch it and break the blow with my shoulder, but wasn't fast enough, I reckon. Stopped it with my head instead. Oh.
So that's why you threw yourself on top of me. Why did you do that, Lightning? Why did you risk yourself for me? Why, I'm nothing but a dumb gypsy, and you're the greatest man in the world. Why did you do that, Lightning? Lightning! Lightning, answer me, please!
Upon emerging from the cellar, Whitey discovered that it was hopeless to seek help for Lightning Jim close at hand. All about him lay a scene of havoc and confusion. Cries of distress rent the darkness. Pinning his hope upon the slim chance that the garrison might have escaped destruction, he started out. Half blinded by the heavy downpour, tumbling and groping in an uncertain passage among the wreckage strewn in the wake of the savage tornado, he pushed doggedly toward the army post. At the gate, he was accosted by the sentry.
Hi there. Half a mile, my lad. What's the matter? Oh, let me pass you crazy foot. I come for help. Lightning Jim, it's in. Lightning Jim, eh? Oh. Never heard of him. I've got any orders not to. Oh, you guys there.
I don't see you, Corporal.
Here, Colonel, still make this pint-sized cockney hat with the peanut out of my ribs, will you? Oh, what is it? Why, you're sniveling, square-headed,
Hold on, Corporal. This man's a U.S. Deputy Marshal.
Sorry, sir. Didn't know it's a fight. I didn't know, sir. Colonel, still I come for help. Lightning laying back in his cellar at the headquarters all alone. He's been hurt.
Lightning Jim injured? Is it serious?
He's bleeding bad from he's got a big cut on his head. He saved my life, Colonel, still and know him. He might be dying.
The army post of Fort Anderson had lain outside the direct path of the tornado, and thus had escaped to some extent the destruction which had claimed almost every home and building in the town. A portion of the barracks had been swept away by the wind, but enough had been left standing to provide shelter for the more seriously wounded of the townspeople who were being brought in by the dozens for medical attention. Into this crowded confusion, stretcher bearers carried the unconscious form of Lightning Jim, and Major Bowman, the grave and kindly old army surgeon, deserted his other patients to give the famous Marshal immediate care. Weakened by exposure and loss of blood, Lightning Jim's condition was critical, and the conscientious surgeon was able to say no more than that the next few hours would tell the story.
Whitey, are you here?
Yo, I'm here, Lightning. How you feeling, no?
Oh, my head. Where are we, Whitey? Well, what happened?
We're back there, no, Lightning. We're at the garrison. You was hurt here in the tornado.
Yeah. Now I remember. Whitey, what about Thunder?
Oh, Thunder's all right, Lightning. She didn't get a scratch.
Oh, thank God. I've eat a heap of that animal.
Yeah, I know.
How are you feeling, Lightning?
I don't know yet, Colonel Steele. Just come to, I reckon.
Oh, Whitey, can I speak to you in a minute?
Oh, sure.
Let's go in my office. We'll be right back, Lightning. I'll have Major...
hold on, Colonel. What's up?
Why, nothing at all, Lightning. I just wanted to see you, Whitey.
You ain't fooling me, Colonel. What is it?
Now, listen, Lightning, you're a sick man, and Whitey can take care of what I want.
Yeah, well, I'll be sicker yet if you don't satisfy my curiosity. I know something's up.
Well, you can't do anything about it, so you might as well know. The jail was partially destroyed by the tornado, and two of the Star Gang escaped during the confusion.
Did Belle Star get away?
No. She was slightly injured, and one of the gang was killed. The great leader in Russ Sims stole a couple of horses and was seen heading for the border.
Whitey, you gotta go after him.
Lightning, I ain't going to leave you till the doctor says you're all right.
Thanks, partner. But I'm hard to kill. I'll be all right. You're a marshal, Whitey. Duty comes first.
Oh, I know. But I hate to leave you, Lightning. Say, Colonel, could you spare a man to go with me?
Yes. Get your horse and come back to the post. I'll have a man waiting at the north gate.
Listen, Whitey. There hombre's got a good head start on you. Better take thunder.
Thunder? Lightning? You mean that I can write thunder?
Yeah. But don't let nothing happen to him, Whitey. And go on. Get going.
Hold on there, Marshal. Forward. Well, so that's you again, eh, Corporal? Well, what you stopping me for this time? I ain't stopping you, sir. I'm going with you. You are going with me? You mean that you're the man that Colonel Steele said to work this job with me? Yes, sir. Corporal Hawkins, at your service, sir. Well, for the rotten lot. Hold on, sir. You ain't got no call to feel that way. I was only carrying out orders when I stopped you a while ago. Oh, well, that's forced. You say your name was Hawkins? Yes, sir. Hawkins it is, Marshal Larson. Well, right, sister there. No, come on, we got no time to waste. Come on, Thunder.
Well, Whitey seems to have no premonition of the danger into which he so gallantly rides. What happens when he meets those murderous bandits, Jake Leader and Russ Finn? And what of the notorious Belle Starr, whose threat to escape has caused Lightning Jim such concern? The story unfolds in part 2 of the adventures of Lightning Jim, which follows immediately. And now for part 2 of the adventures of Lightning Jim. It's the morning following the tornado, and Whitey and Corporal Hawkins are following the trail of the escaped outlaws, while back at the Army barracks where the injured were brought for treatment, Lightning Jim is talking to Belle Starr, who occupies a neighboring cot.
Well, Lightning, for a man whose life was in the balance less than 8 hours ago, you seem pretty chipper.
Yeah, Belle. An old saying, the care keeps a good man down.
Nor a good woman either, Marshal. Don't forget that.
Another threat to escape, say, Belle.
Take it any way you like, Lightning.
By the way, since we've got to lie here with nothing to do, I'd like to know how you got into this here business of horse stealing and bank robbing.
Well, your interest is flattering, Lightning. So I must say your description of my career is somewhat lacking in delicacy.
I heard you was a Confederate spy during the war. Is that right, Belle?
Yes, Lightning. Oh, it was wonderful. Thrilling, exciting, utterly different than anything I'd known in my stupid, dull, small-town existence. It gave me a taste of what real living could be.
Same old story, eh? Like the James and Younger boys. You just couldn't settle down to decent living after the war was over,
That's just about the size of it, Lightning. And like Jeff James and Cole Younger, I served under Mr. Quantrell.
You don't come to think of it, I did hear you were the Quantrell spy. Colonel McDougal over at Fort Benton was telling me he had a run-in with you, and he was just a non-com. Served under Major Enos down in southern Missouri.
Yes, it was the first day of that encounter with my sweetheart that I had my first ride with Steph as a saddle companion.
That's so, Belle?
You see, Lightning, Quantrell was in pretty desperate straits at that time.
Mm-hmm.
He was operating a pitiful little company of 50 men in a territory that literally teemed with Union soldiers and militiamen. And he was badly in need of supplies and ammunition with which to carry on.
I see, and it was up to you to find out where he could get his hands on them things, huh?
Yes, Lightning, that was my job. Well, Major Enos was stationed in the town of Antonia. So I went up there, flirted with one of his soldiers, and got the information I was after.
Well, to get him sounds simple enough, but what about passing that information on to Quantrell?
That was the hard part, Lightning. I knew Quantrell was trying to get a man through the federal lines, and that if successful, that man would be waiting just outside of the town of Carthage for me to bring him the information.
Mm-hmm.
The next morning, as I was starting for Carthage, Now, Hugo, who's a sergeant at that time, stopped. Easy, Cooney, easy.
Well, no. And it's very early in the morning for a lad to be riding out.
Oh, good morning, Sergeant McCuver. I'm just on my way to Carthage, and it's a long ride, so I hope you'll excuse me if I don't stand around and talk.
Well, I'm sorry to have to detain you, Miss Bell, but the fact of the matter is, Major Enos wishes a word with you.
You'll have to tell the Major I just couldn't stop today, Sergeant. Tell him I'll see him the next time I come to Nikola. Now, if you'll kindly take your hand off my bridle, I'll be on the way.
I cannot do it, Miss Bell. The orders are to bring you to the Major, and bring you I must.
Why, you impudent Highland beast. Shut up. Don't sit down while you're
Hit me
hungry.
with that
There.
whip.
Sit down. And back. Let go, I say.
Stop it. Didn't do that.
Yeah, I heard a lot about that trigger temper of yours, Bill.
Well, it didn't do me any good that day, Lightning. I was taken to Judge Richard's home, where Major Enos questioned me a bit about my brother Ed, who was a captain under Quantrell. And then he left me locked in the parlor. Oh, so it's you again, is it? So, Walter, stop. Yeah, what do you want now?
Them rebel tunes you've been banging out for an hour past. The Major sent me to tell you they were fair driving him mad.
That old yank of fool doesn't have enough brains to go mad with. But I'm glad to know my music's annoying him. And you can tell him for me that it'll stop as soon as he gets the tree, and not a minute before.
Well, that don't sound much like the official arrest of a war spy to me.
Oh, I hadn't been arrested as a spy, Lightning.
No?
Major Enos hadn't found out about my spying operations at that point.
Oh, I see.
I was being held for another reason, which I found out about an hour later. Musical duel. You call that preaching bagpipe caterwauling music?
Well, it's true. I cannot play as good as so, but a man had arrested to pay himself. He's looked at me very denied. Right in the go. He's the Major calling me. I'm calling for it. Says you're to go the news.
You mean I'm free? I'm free to go to Carthage?
Hey, you'll be free to go to Carthage, lass. But should you meet a detachment of Union cavalry on the way, be certain to take a good look at their prisoner. I'll bet you a Yankee dollar to a rebel once will be Captain Ed Shirley, he said.
So, your brother Ed was the man that Quantrell had sent through the federal lines, eh, Bell?
Yes, and I was simply frantic, Lightning. He'd been seen somewhere along the route and recognized, but by some miracle he escaped capture and made it through to Carthage. Learning this, Major Enos had dispatched a cavalry troop to surround his hiding place and take him prisoner, dead or alive.
Yeah, but that cavalry troop had a good 2-hour start on you, Bell, and Carthage must be 35, 40 miles from Newtonia. Surely you couldn't do nothing to save your brother's life.
Carthage was 35 miles by road map, Lightning, and that was the route the troop took. I knew a shortcut across the hills, and though there were federal pickets at intervals all along the countryside, I determined to get to the Carthage ahead of that troop. I died down. Come on, Cooney, old girl. They spotted us here. Catch the car. Close call, Lightning. One of the bullets creased Cooney's flank. But I kept on. Mile after mile we rode. Poor little mare. But she didn't already know about cherry switches. I taught her that day. But I made it, Lightning. I got through in time to warn Ed. When that cavalry troop rode into Carthage, my brother was well on his way back to Quantrell's camp with information that made possible one of the most successful and daring raids of his career. A raid that cost the Federals thousands of dollars and the lives of over 100 men.
Well, Belle, all I got to say is that it's a shame you didn't turn that kind of courage to a good cause when the war was over. Face a ride in the plains with a band of murder and cutthroats.
Trying to convert me to the side of law and order, Latin?
Well, maybe so.
Well, how about you making the first gesture and having these handcuffs taken off me? They annoy me.
Yes, sorry, Belle, but they'll have to stay on till the jail's repaired. You're safe behind bars again. You might take it into your head to try to escape, you know.
When I get ready to escape, Lightning, you may be sure a little thing like a pair of handcuffs won't stop me.
In the meantime, many miles south of Fort Anderson, Whitey and Hawkins forced their weary horses along a rocky trail.
Oh, thunder. Oh, boy. Say, Hawkins, take a look at this track. He ain't more than an hour old, by God. Oh, boy. What you say, Whitey? I say these tracks is like flesh, Hawkins. That means we ought to spot those jaspers as soon as we get out to this fort.
Hope you're right, Whitey. Blast their blimey eyes for leading us such a sight. I think his blooming saddle is go right onto the seat of his pants.
Oh, I reckon it ain't so much fun to spend 16 hours in the saddle when you ain't used to it. But we got to keep on riding used to see him. Get up, thunder. Come on, Hawkins. We'll take a kind of stroll going out to this fort.
We'll go as fast as we can. As soon as we meet up with them bloody flying fish, the happy at all be.
What?
And don't try no funny business either.
Steady, thunder. Easy, boy.
Why, it's them blighters we've been trying.
Yo, and you got the drop on it.
You kind of outgrew your britches, Steve, when you started out to take leader. You ain't Lightning Jim, you know.
Yo, and that's a lucky thing for you, I ain't, Rick. That gives you a couple more weeks to live.
Get the guns, Rick. Yeah. Feel good for any hideout weapon, too. You're taking no chances. Yeah, leave it to me, Jake. Yeah, it's the end of the trail for you two, King Stars. We're taking you back in them caves and drilling you. It'll save us the trouble of burying you.
Well, they've done it, Jake.
All right. Now get down off them horses, you two. Grab a couple of stalks of that there candlewood. It'll do for torture.
So we can see our targets better, eh, Jake?
Rather than torture, Rick. I always thought that polecats could see in the door.
Turn up, Swede, and do as you're told, before I lose my patience and decide to kill you the hard way.
Ain't there no way out of this here blooming pickle, Whitey?
Yeah, let's all look like it, old man. We got to keep our eyes peeled for us to yumpsies to polecats.
Hey, I didn't tell you to pull up the whole desert. Get back here and get quick.
Hold your horses, will you? But they ain't got no guns, Whitey.
Look, got into this. Here's the candlewood, Rick.
Yeah, it's about time. Now start walking. Don't make a false move or I'll let you have it in the back. Come on, Rex.
Yeah, Jake.
Jelly Hawkins. I never thought I'd be walking at the head of my own funeral procession.
Blimey, it's dark in this cave, Whitey. I don't see why the sniveling bloody weasels didn't kill us out there in the open. It ain't Christian to walk a man into his own cave, it ain't.
That's far enough. Now light them torches and turn around now, baby. Hey, what's that? Some kind of animal.
Look at that, Whitey. Yo, you can see their eyes.
Light them torches, you fool.
You do it, Whitey. My hands are shaking.
Oh, that's the man.
Who just my God here? Look at that. We've got into a den of mountain lions.
Wake up. Them cougars are trying to get out. Hey, quit waving that torch, Swede. You're putting it in our way. There, those devils take her out of here.
Get off your dog. Lump him, Hawkins.
Oh, let you yes, but... Get through you, and I'll get you. Oh, not this time like this, you know.
Now, Hawkins, I can help you. I don't need help. And there's trunk like rotten.
Oh, that's got some good work, old man.
No, come on and help me drag these sleeping beauties off of here. They got the Duke and Fort Anderson, the Prince Storming, the hangman.
Whitey, old man.
Yo, that's me, Larson. How you feeling now?
Never mind me. You get them.
Yo, we got them all.
Good work, Whitey. Well, now we got all the prisoners together again, huh?
Yo, they're all over the jail, all excepting Bell.
Bell's car ain't at the jail?
No, the rest of them said she was still here at the army post. Had sprained ankle or something.
He was here, Whitey. But as soon as they told me the jail had been repaired, I told the turnkey to take Bell back and put her behind bars. But that was 2 hours ago.
The turnkey?
Yeah.
Well, see, that reminds me. I have a note for you. The turnkey left it with the livery stable man, and they told him not to send it over for a couple hours.
Well, I'll be doggone. Just done it, Whitey. Bell's car's escaped.
Escaped?
Yeah. Listen to this. Dear sir, I hope you will excuse me for what I am about to do. Bell's car is a real lady, and she tells me she is a widow, too. She wants me to settle down to a new life and joy and happiness. So we are eloping in place of me taking her back to jail. Truly yours, John Harder, turnkey, Fort Anderson jail.
Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. Bell Star eloped as turnkey.
Yeah.
Whitey, look what happened. Bell Star's escaped.
Yeah, so we just found out. Eloped with a turnkey.
Eloped, eh?
Yeah.
Well, all I've got to say is that it was sure a short honeymoon for him.
Huh?
Well, how's that? Has the turnkey been taken in already?
Taken in is right. Taken in by Bell Star.
How?
He was just found lying on the ground about 10 miles out of town, clubbed over the head.
And so ends another chapter in the lives of Lightning Jim and his faithful deputy, Whitey Larson.